Hi, and welcome to the Real United States video blog. I'm Paul Campbell, your host, and today is November 6th, 2012. Our election day, our general election day. We actually have elections every 2 years. Every 4 years we have a general election, and every 2 years we have what are called the midterm elections, and those are just for the Senate and the House of Representatives. This particular election is for the entire House of Representatives, 1/3 of the Senate, and of course President and Vice President, which I'm sure most of you everywhere in the world that are watching this have heard about and are waiting for the results with bated breath, just as we are. I wanted to share a couple of things with you. Hopefully we're going to be able to share some today with you. In advance of the election, they send you, at least in our precinct, of course everything's broken down into units and smaller units and smaller units and smaller units, and until you finally get down to what's called a precinct, and that's a particular geographic area that everybody that lives in that area goes to one place to vote, to cast their ballot. And there's different ways this is done in the United States. You've probably seen this on television. Some are paper ballots, some are machines. There's different ways of doing it. Some are used to be punch cards. I don't know if they still use punch cards. But prior to the election, about a month prior to today, they sent registered voters, and you have to register in the United States, and you have to register a certain amount of time in advance to be able to be allowed to vote. Everyone's allowed to vote, but you have to register to do so, and you do this at the same facility where you go and get your driver's license in most places, at the Secretary of State or the Driver's License Bureau, depending on your state. Anyway, about a month ago, they sent me this little piece of paper here, and this is from Lori Scott. She is the Supervisor of Elections for Brevard County. The county is a subdivision of a state, and our precinct falls in Brevard County. And what this is a sample ballot. And when I get to the polls, when Beverly and I get to the polls here shortly, and that's where we're headed, as soon as I get done explaining this, we should get something that looks very much like this. And it has some stuff here to fill out. It's just you take a pencil and you fill in the little dot by whoever you want to vote for, and it's not just people that we're voting for. There's also actually laws, constitutional amendments here in the state of Florida. There's like 11 or 12 of them that we're going to vote on today. And you just fill in the little box on yes or no on the issues, and you fill in the little circle next to whoever you want to vote for president, vice president, senatorial candidate, and your particular district representative. And so you can see I'm going to be in that voting booth for a little while, because I have studied this, so it should go fairly quickly. But they do send this out in advance, so you know in advance what you're going to be looking at, and then they go to some extent to explain the correct way. I don't know if you can see that, to fill in the blank, that it's you actually have to color it in. You don't check it or exit or circle it or whatever, you fill it in. This is a system that most American college students know as a Scantron, because then the ballot is fed into an optical scanner, and the responses are automatically recorded and put into a database. And sometime around 7 o'clock, as a matter of fact, in our precinct at 7 o'clock tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which I believe is GMT -5, the polls will close, and by that time they will have an estimate of who has won the state. And because the United States is spread across 6 time zones, and not 4 like many people believe, it's actually spread across 6 time zones, it'll be quite late or early tomorrow morning for us before the people in the state of Hawaii, actually their polls close, because that's like 3, 4, 5 hours after us. Yeah, 5 hours after our polls close is when their polls close. So, but anyway, here in the state of Florida, and at least in our county, they send you a ballot with all the choices on it, all of the issues that are up for decision on constitutional amendments, which are, or laws, issues that we're going to vote on, because that's how we handle some laws. They're actually voted on. They're not necessarily just passed by a legislative body. It's rare, but it does happen. But these are actually constitutional amendments, or what's in here. And so this is what they're going to hand me. And in order to get in to vote, I told you I had to have a voter registration. I don't want to really display this on camera too much, but it's my voter registration card. And I have to have picture identification, which in our state is a driver's license or state issued picture identification card. And then you go into a booth, and they close a curtain behind you, and you do your voting, and out you go, and they give you a little sticker that says I voted. So that's what Beverly and I are on our way to do, and hopefully we can catch some more footage of it for you. There are some legal restrictions about the distance that you can loiter from a polling place, and that's in this state and in many states is 100 feet. But we might be able to get some footage of our polling place for you. I'm not going to share with you how I voted or who I'm voting for. That's a personal choice. I think everybody has the right to vote their conscience and to keep that to themselves, and to vote or not to vote. That's one of the lovely things about the United States is we have a choice, and many people choose not to vote. It's not that they can't. They specifically, deliberately choose not to, and that's their right, and that's okay. I choose to vote, Beverly chooses to vote, and here's hoping for the best, and we'll all know the results sometime early tomorrow morning. So hang with us, and we'll see what else we can get for you on this. Okay, we're pulling out from our home, and we're on our way to the polling place to go vote. It's only about a mile or so. It's not terribly far from home. They keep the precincts pretty small so that each one isn't overwhelmed with too many voters and too many ballots and whatnot. You'll notice I'm dressed with rather light clothing for it being November 6th, but again, as I've mentioned before, that's well, that's one of the things about living at 28 degrees north latitude. It's quite warm here. It's 76 degrees here today. Sunny, nice. And this is the neighborhood we live in. It's filled with a lot of apartment complexes, a few individual homes, and you may notice on some of the trees these long hanging strands of material. This is that's called Spanish moss here in the United States, and it's actually a separate plant from the tree. It's a parasite that grows on the oak trees, on the pin oaks and water oaks. Very popular decoration. Sometimes a lot of people harvest it for packing materials, for natural organic packing materials, because it keeps things from getting bounced around. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly where the polling place is. We looked it up on the map, so I'm hoping that I am familiar enough with my own town that well, that we don't bloody get lost. That'd be kind of embarrassing. Get lost in my own town on my way to vote. Yeah, you can see that everybody in the world has their sign up with a, vote for me. You see the little sign right here. This is where we turn in and park to go vote. This is our local voting place. This is actually a senior center. It's only used as a polling place during elections. Not terribly uncommon. Some places it's done in high school gymnasiums. I've voted in high school gymnasiums in my life, and Sometimes it's done in federal buildings or state buildings, local city buildings. Now, unfortunately, folks, I can't bring the camera into the voting place with us. It's against the law. So we're going to have to pick up after I come back, and we'll let you know how it went. Thanks a lot. Okay, we made it in, voted. We put our ballots in the machine. Just like I said, it's a Scantron machine that scans and automatically records the vote. It is a paper ballot here, by the way, that you fill in little things and it scans them. Over my left shoulder, you'll see this is the entrance to the polling place. And if you're wondering why I'm filming from this distance, you'll see this little sign right here. It was put here specifically by the elections officials that you are not allowed legally to campaign or do anything inside of this zone. So I asked the lady by the door specifically where I could film this and be within the law. So they're very strict about that. But we have cast our ballots. It's I think a little after 3. So we've got about 4 hours before the polls close. And the way it works here in the United States, there is a exit polling system that usually is extremely accurate, that will give us the results of what the actual election is going to be right around the time the polls close here at 7 o'clock. So thank you very much for watching the Real United States video blogs episode on voting here in the United States in the 2012 general election. Thanks for joining us. We hope you'll pick subscribe above. You can always find us on Facebook or join us on MoTube for automatic updates to your cellular phone. If you have questions or comments, I will try and answer them. Please leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And as always, thank you for watching.